Hi there. Our learning objective today, lesson objective rather, today is area of triangle. Finding area of triangle using half AB sine C. Right, if you look on the board, there are three types of triangles. The first triangle, if you were told to find the area of that triangle, and the same for the second one, but we've known the formula all along, the area equal to half base times height. In other words, or base times height divided by 2. And as you can see from these diagrams, I can find the length or the base, sorry, I can find the height. I'll use this formula. The base is given, height is given, I'll use this formula as well. But if you look at the third triangle, we've got an angle. Okay, now when we have an angle, we can't use this formula anymore. We've got to use a different formula, which is half AB sine C, to solve the area of this triangle. So I'm going to take these two off, and I hope you still remember them. If you're looking for the area of a triangle, it's base times height divided by 2. However, when the angle is given, when an angle is given and sides are given as well, and you're told to find the area of the triangle, you've got to use this formula, half AB sine C. So I'm going to rub this off and draw the new triangle, well, the triangle here, into the center and solve a problem. So I'm going to call this, well, from trigonometry, we know when it's a right angle triangle and you're looking for sides or angles, you use Pythagoras or SOHCAHTOA. Now, when it's a triangle with more than 90 degrees, we start talking about sine rule and cosine rule. Now, we're going to use the same lettering when we use the sine and cosine rule. So let's call this angle C. Let's call this angle A. Let's call this angle B. You still remember that from trigonometry? Good. Okay. The opposite side to angle C is small c. Opposite side to angle big A is small a. Opposite side to angle B is small b. Okay. Now, let's solve a typical question. Well, before we solve a question, if you look at the formula, it says half the length of A times by the length of B times by the sine of this angle. That's how you find the area. So I'm going to draw a typical question here. So I have 30 degrees. I have 4 centimeters. I have, no, let's call this 14 centimeters, and I'll call this, say, 10 centimeters. Now the question says find the area. The area of this triangle is unknown. What do? I'm just going to try to label that triangle. Of course, the side given, the angle given, you want to make it big C. And the others can be big A or big B. It doesn't matter what you choose. Now, this big A means this opposite side is small a and small b. Well, I've got all I need, and I can substitute all of them into that formula. So the area of this triangle is half times A times B times sine C. A is 14 centimeters. B is 10 centimeters. Big C is 30 degrees. Substitute these values into that formula. That becomes half times 14 times 10 times sine 30 degrees. Okay, now when you solve this, you want to make sure that your calculator is on degrees. If it is not on degrees, you will make mistakes, and you don't want to be making those mistakes. Okay, so type into your calculator half, or 0.5 times 14 times 10 times by the sine of 30 degrees. Your answer should be 35 centimeters squared. Remember, area is a two-dimensional parameter. It's a two-dimensional measurement, so you have to put squared at the end. So it's half times 14 times 10 times sine 30, and that should give us 35 centimeters squared. Okay, having said that, sometimes you could be given the area. So the question could say the area is 35 centimeters squared. Find the missing length x. What do? Basically, we are working our way backward. Again, we are going to label. Well, this is big B, small b, big A. So small x is actually the small a, and that's what we are looking for. So we go straight into that formula. We know area equal to half times A times B times sine C. So substitute what you have. Area is 35 equal to, well, I'm going to change this half to 0.5 times x, which is what we're looking for, times B is 10 centimeters times sine 30. Obviously, my answer, whatever I do to this, will be in terms of x, which is what I am going to do. I'm going to multiply 0.5 times by 10 times by sine 30, and that gives me 2.5x. So this times this gives me 2.5, then times x, that's equal to 35. And to find x, you know what to do. Divide both sides by 2.5. 35 divided by 2.5, x equal to 14 centimeters. Okay, well, one last example before we finish. Sometimes you could be given both sides without an angle. So we're going to make that x, and I'm going to make this 14 centimeters. And the question says, find x, the angle. Well, I know that A is 14, so what I have is A is 14, B is 10, big C is unknown. Let's substitute back. Well, area as well, you will be given area is 35 centimeters squared. So substitute all of that back into the formula. Area equal to half times A times B times sine big C. Area is 35. Half I can change to 0.5 times 14 times 10 times sine C. Well, all of these should give me half of 140, which is 70 sine C equal to 35. Okay, what did I do here? Multiply 0.5 times 14 times 10, 70 times sine C. And that is 35, not 3.5, 35. Okay, how do I find sine C from here? Well, divide both sides by 70. That tells me here that sine C equal to 35 over 70, which is 0.5. Haven't found sine C is 0.5, then I'll have to do the sine inverse. I'm going to write it on the other side there because the body's a bit finished there. So I'll transfer all of this here. So I know that sine C equal to 0.5. To find C, which is the angle, remember I am not interested in the sine of the angle, I'm interested in the angle itself. So sine C would be the sine, C equal to the sine inverse of 0.5, which you can do with your calculator. Second function, or shift sine, that sine comes up. So C equal to shift sine 0.5. If you use that on the calculator, you're going to get 30 degrees. Okay, you've got to remember when you're doing a task like this, your calculator must be on degrees. Good luck.